There is a moment in every human life when a person stands at the edge of two possible futures. One path leads toward growth, achievement, and fulfillment. The other path quietly leads toward regret, excuses, and missed opportunities. The strange part is that these two paths often look almost identical in the beginning. The difference between them is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not even opportunity. The real difference lies in something invisible, something subtle that most people never notice. It is what I call the sixth step, the secret filter between success and failure. Many people believe success is a simple ladder. First you dream, then you plan, then you work, then you struggle, and finally you succeed. It sounds logical, but reality is rarely that neat. Millions of people dream. Millions make plans. Millions even start working hard. Yet only a small number ever reach their true potential. Something happens between effort and achievement that quietly separates those who rise from those who slowly drift away from their goals. That invisible moment is the sixth step. The sixth step is the moment when enthusiasm fades, but commitment must continue. It is the stage where motivation is no longer loud and exciting. It becomes quiet, disciplined, and sometimes uncomfortable. At this point, the applause is gone, the excitement of beginning has faded, and progress feels slow. Many people stop here because the journey suddenly feels heavier than the dream. But those who cross this stage unlock something powerful inside themselves. Think about the early stages of any goal. When someone starts a new project, a new career, or a new habit, everything feels exciting. Energy is high. Ideas are fresh. People talk about their plans with passion. Friends encourage them. The mind is filled with images of future success. But after a while, reality appears. Challenges begin to show up. Progress becomes slower than expected. Doubts quietly enter the mind. And that is exactly where the sixth step begins. At this point, the mind starts asking difficult questions. Is this really worth it? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe the timing is wrong. Maybe I should try something easier. These thoughts are natural. Every successful person has faced them, but the difference is what they do next. Some people treat these doubts as stop signs. Others treat them as filters. The sixth step is a filter because it removes those who only wanted success when it felt easy. It reveals who truly wants to grow and who only wanted the comfort of dreaming. Dreams are pleasant. They cost nothing. But commitment demands energy, discipline, and patience. The sixth step forces a person to decide whether their goal is simply an idea or a real mission. History is full of people who faced this exact moment. Inventors who failed hundreds of times before creating something useful. Writers who received countless rejections before publishing a book. Entrepreneurs who struggled for years before building a thriving company. The world sees their final achievement, but it rarely sees the countless moments when they stood at the sixth step and refused to turn back. Imagine a marathon runner. The beginning of the race is exciting. The crowd is cheering, adrenaline is high, and the runner feels unstoppable. But somewhere in the middle of the race, the cheering fades. The body becomes tired. The finish line is still far away. This is where many runners slow down or quit. But the champions understand something important. The real race does not begin at the start line. It begins at the moment when the body wants to stop, but the mind decides to continue. The sixth step is that moment for every goal in life. It is the place where comfort disappears and character appears. It is where discipline becomes more important than motivation. Motivation is powerful, but it is temporary. Discipline is quiet, but it is reliable. Motivation pushes you to start. Discipline carries you when motivation is gone. People often look for secret formulas for success. They read books, attend seminars, watch motivational videos, and search for shortcuts. But the truth is surprisingly simple. Success belongs to those who pass through the sixth step again and again without surrendering their purpose. Think about how many talented people never reach their potential. Talent alone does not guarantee achievement. Intelligence alone does not create impact. Opportunity alone does not build greatness. Many brilliant people stop moving forward because they meet resistance and interpret it as a sign to quit. But resistance is not always a signal to stop. Often it is simply a test to see who is serious about their dream. The sixth step transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary progress. When a person continues working despite boredom, fatigue, and uncertainty, something remarkable happens. Their mindset begins to change. They stop depending on external encouragement. They begin generating their own inner strength. They no longer need constant praise or reassurance. Their commitment becomes self-powered. This is where confidence is truly built. Real confidence does not come from easy victories. It comes from surviving difficult moments. Each time a person pushes forward despite doubt, they build evidence inside their mind. They prove to themselves that they are stronger than temporary discomfort. That inner proof becomes the foundation of lasting confidence. Many people wait for perfect conditions before continuing their journey. They say they will move forward when they feel more confident, when the timing is better, or when circumstances improve. But the sixth step teaches a different lesson. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you create through action. Every small decision to continue builds momentum. Each day of consistent effort strengthens the habit of perseverance. And slowly, almost invisibly, the person who once struggled begins to transform. Their mindset becomes sharper. Their patience becomes stronger. Their vision becomes clearer. The sixth step is not dramatic. It rarely comes with applause or recognition. It happens quietly in ordinary moments when a person chooses persistence over comfort. When someone wakes up early to work on their dream while the world is still sleeping. When they continue learning after facing repeated failures. When they refuse to abandon their goals simply because the path is difficult. At that moment, something powerful is happening beneath the surface. The filter is working. It is separating temporary interest from genuine commitment. And those who pass through this stage are no longer chasing success as a wish. They are building it as a reality. The world may not notice this stage, but it is the foundation of every meaningful achievement. The sixth step is where ordinary individuals begin transforming into extraordinary ones. It is where determination becomes stronger than doubt and purpose becomes stronger than fear. And once a person crosses this invisible threshold, something changes forever. They realize that success is not reserved for a special few. It belongs to those who refuse to walk away when the journey becomes difficult. The sixth step is not the end of the road. It is the doorway to a completely new level of strength, resilience, and belief in oneself. When people talk about success, they often focus on the visible moments. The awards, the recognition, the finished achievements that everyone can see and admire. But the most important part of every success story happens in silence, long before the world notices anything. It happens during the long, quiet stretch where effort continues without applause. This stretch is where the sixth step truly reveals its power. At this stage, something fascinating happens inside the human mind. In the beginning of a journey, excitement carries the weight of the work. Passion fuels late nights and early mornings, but excitement is like a spark. It burns bright for a while, then it fades. When that spark fades, most people assume their motivation has disappeared. They believe something is wrong with them. In reality, nothing is wrong. They have simply arrived at the sixth step. This step is where excitement must evolve into discipline. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not feel thrilling. It does not create dramatic emotional highs. Instead, discipline is steady, consistent, and sometimes even boring. Yet it is the most powerful force behind long-term achievement. Consider a musician learning to master an instrument. The first few weeks feel exciting. Every new sound feels like progress. But after some time, improvement slows down. Practice becomes repetitive. Mistakes appear again and again. At that moment, many people lose interest. But those who continue practicing through repetition eventually reach a level of skill that others only admire from a distance. The same principle applies to every meaningful pursuit in life. Writers must write even when inspiration feels distant. Athletes must train even when their bodies feel exhausted. Entrepreneurs must keep building even when results seem slow. The sixth step is where persistence becomes a daily decision rather than an emotional reaction. What makes this stage challenging is that results are often delayed. Human nature loves immediate rewards. When we work hard, we want quick signs that our effort is paying off. But the greatest achievements rarely follow that pattern. Instead, progress often happens slowly and invisibly for a long time before it suddenly becomes visible. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. For days or even weeks, nothing appears on the surface. It might seem as if nothing is happening at all. But beneath the soil, roots are spreading, strengthening, and preparing for growth. If someone loses patience and stops watering the seed, the plant will never emerge. But if they continue nurturing it with faith and consistency, eventually the first green shoot breaks through the surface. The sixth step is exactly like that underground stage of growth. Effort continues even when visible progress is limited. The person must trust the process even when results are not immediate, and that requires a deeper level of belief. Belief is not blind optimism. It is the understanding that meaningful progress often requires time. The most powerful transformations do not happen overnight. They happen through small, repeated actions performed over long periods. This is why patience becomes a crucial companion during the sixth step. Patience does not mean waiting without action. It means continuing to work while understanding that results will arrive at the right time. When patience and persistence work together, they create unstoppable momentum. Many people abandon their dreams not because the dream was impossible, but because they underestimated the time required to achieve it. They expected rapid progress and became discouraged when success took longer than anticipated. But those who understand the sixth step approach the journey differently. They treat time as an ally rather than an enemy. Every day of consistent effort adds another brick to the foundation of success. One day of practice may not feel significant. 1 hour of focused work may not seem extraordinary. But when these small actions accumulate over months and years, they create remarkable outcomes. Another powerful shift occurs during the sixth step. A person begins to redefine failure. In the early stages of a journey, mistakes can feel discouraging. They appear like evidence that something is going wrong. But those who pass through the sixth step start seeing mistakes differently. They begin to recognize them as information rather than defeat. Every failure contains a lesson about what needs improvement. When someone studies their mistakes instead of fearing them, they turn setbacks into stepping stones. Each correction makes the next attempt stronger and smarter. This mindset creates resilience. Resilience is the ability to continue moving forward despite obstacles. It is not about avoiding difficulty. It is about developing the strength to face it without losing direction. The sixth step builds resilience by exposing people to challenges that require adaptation. Each challenge forces them to grow mentally and emotionally. Over time, the person who once doubted their abilities becomes someone who trusts their capacity to learn and improve. Another hidden gift of this stage is clarity. When a person stays committed to a goal long enough, they begin to understand it more deeply. They see patterns they could not see before. They discover better strategies. They refine their approach. This deeper understanding often leads to breakthroughs. What once felt complicated becomes manageable. What once felt impossible becomes achievable. And suddenly, progress begins to accelerate. Many people who reach this point look back and realize something surprising. The hardest part of the journey was not the complexity of the goal. It was the patience required to keep going while learning how to reach it. The sixth step therefore acts like a training ground for greatness. It builds patience, discipline, resilience, and clarity all at the same time. These qualities become powerful assets that remain valuable long after the original goal is achieved. This is why individuals who succeed once often succeed again. They have passed through the sixth step before. They understand that persistence eventually produces results. They trust the process because they have experienced its power. And perhaps the most inspiring part of this stage is that it is available to anyone. It does not depend on background, privilege, or special connections. It depends on a simple but powerful choice repeated every day. The choice to continue. Every morning presents that choice again. Continue learning or remain comfortable. Continue improving or accept mediocrity. Continue building the future or remain trapped in the past. The sixth step is not a single dramatic moment. It is a series of quiet decisions made consistently over time. And those decisions gradually transform effort into achievement, dreams into reality, and ordinary individuals into powerful examples of what persistence can accomplish. There comes a point in every meaningful journey where a person begins to notice something extraordinary. The obstacles that once seemed overwhelming no longer feel intimidating. The challenges that once caused hesitation now feel like opportunities to grow stronger. This transformation does not happen by accident. It happens because the individual has successfully moved through the sixth step and emerged with a completely new mindset. At the beginning of a journey, many people are focused only on the destination. They imagine the moment when their goal is finally achieved. They picture the success, the recognition, the reward waiting at the end of the road. But those who continue beyond the sixth step discover something far more valuable than the destination itself. They discover who they are capable of becoming during the journey. The real power of persistence is not only that it helps a person achieve their goal, it reshapes their identity. A person who once doubted their abilities becomes someone who trusts their own determination. Someone who once feared failure becomes someone who sees challenges as invitations to improve. This shift in identity is incredibly powerful. When people believe they are capable of growth, they stop limiting themselves with old fears and outdated assumptions. They begin to set bigger goals. They start exploring opportunities that once seemed beyond their reach. At this stage, the sixth step reveals its final secret. The purpose of the filter was never simply to test people. Its deeper purpose was to strengthen them. Every challenge faced during this stage was shaping the qualities required for success. Think about the way steel is forged. Raw metal must pass through intense heat and pressure before it becomes strong enough to build something durable. Without that process, the metal remains weak and unreliable. Human potential works in a similar way. Difficult experiences shape strength, patience, and wisdom. Those who pass through the sixth step develop a rare form of confidence. It is not loud or arrogant. It is calm and steady. They know that challenges are part of every meaningful pursuit, and they trust their ability to navigate them. Ever feel like you've hit a wall? Like you've given it your all, but you're just not getting anywhere? I know that feeling. It's that moment when quitting seems like the easiest, most logical option. But what if I told you that this exact moment is where the magic happens? This is the moment that separates the good from the great. Think about any great achievement you admire. The invention of the light bulb, the creation of your favorite movie, an athlete winning a gold medal. None of these happened on the first try. They were born from hundreds, even thousands of failures. Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail 1,000 times. He just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's perseverance in action. It's not about never falling down. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. So, how do we build this superpower? It starts with a simple shift in mindset. Instead of seeing failure as a stop sign, see it as a roadmap. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. It shows you what to adjust, what to improve, and what path to take next. Embrace the process of learning. Your goal isn't just a destination. It's the person you become along the journey. Each challenge you overcome builds your resilience, making you stronger and more capable than before. Think about it like building a muscle. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be strong. You show up consistently. You push through the discomfort, and day by day you get stronger. Perseverance is your mental muscle. Every time you choose to keep going when things get tough, you're doing another rep. You're building your inner strength. It's also crucial to have a powerful why. Why did you start this journey in the first place? What is the dream that fuels you? Write it down. Put it on your wall. Remind yourself of it every single day. When your motivation fades, and it will, your why will be the anchor that holds you steady and reminds you to keep pushing forward. Your purpose is your fuel. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who lift you up when you're down. Share your struggles and your victories. A supportive community can make all the difference, turning a lonely struggle into a shared adventure. We are social creatures, and drawing strength from others is not a weakness. It's a strategy. So the next time you feel like giving up, I want you to pause. Take a deep breath. Remember your why. Think about the lesson you just learned from that setback. And then take one more step. Just one. That one small step is the power of perseverance. It's the decision to keep going, to believe in yourself even when it's hard. The journey to anything worthwhile is never a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and unexpected roadblocks. But those who succeed are the ones who persevere. They are the ones who understand that grit, resilience, and an unwavering belief in their own potential are the true keys to unlocking their dreams. You have that power within you. It's time to unleash it. Thanks for watching. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you on your journey. See you in the next video.